a Columbia engineer as enthusiastic, collaborative, hardworking, really not afraid to try and fail.
People at Columbia really love to learn and love to try new things and learn through those experiences.
The diversity of people and how they got to Columbia, I think that was the most almost shocking, like in a really positive way.
I wanted to be an inventor when I was little, so I knew I wanted to be able to have an idea, put something together, something physical.
I studied math and psychology at Northwestern and had no idea what I wanted to do with it, and figured more education, why not?
I think what I expected was that I was going to be around really smart and interesting people, but I think I was just completely blown away by who I actually met. They surpassed all my expectations.
Learn from amazing students from all around the world, but also at the same time explore other interests and the humanities through the core curriculum.
I get to go out and I get to meet all people from other disciplines, can even help me generate new ideas in engineering.
I really appreciated the Engineering for Humanity mission of Columbia Engineering because having a engineering and technical understanding with a liberal arts background prepares you to go out into the world and make sure that you're designing for people.
I'd say the most definitive ingredient of me and my classmates, it's almost this zest for life.
Columbia engineer has to be a people person.
Part of it is being very well-rounded.
Make sure that you're designing for people instead of strictly solving a problem because it's a problem.
I'd say a Columbia engineer is wholehearted.
I think you also have to be tough.
Oh, you're the year that graduated in the pandemic, but there's so much more to what we've accomplished.
I've always said that I want to use math to change the world, and my skill happens to be in, quantitative math.
I'm really excited to bring that kind of empathy and technical background with me to the work that I'm doing in order to hopefully make more technology accessible to everyone.
Keep learning, keep finding out what you don't know.
So the heart of Columbia engineer is woven in to the fabric of society.
Columbia Engineering has really just given me these tools to be a great citizen in the world, not just a great engineer.
What makes us different can be what brings us together and make us part of the same larger community.
That's that magical place where engineering, I think, has the capacity to just change the world.
Congratulations! Go forward, design and build a better world.
This is amazing achievement.
Best of luck for the future. Go and make us proud.
I wish you all the best for the future.
Congratulations.
Good luck.
Congratulations, everyone.
Congratulations.
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 Best of luck in the future.
You did a great job. Keep it up.
Very proud of your accomplishments.
Best wishes for everything.
You guys have done a great job.
Seize the World 2021.
Congratulations.
Congrats.
Congratulations.
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 Congratulations. We're extremely proud of you.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Looking forward to great things from you.
Congratulations.
Job well done.
Your hard work and perseverance has paid off. Nice work.
I wish you all the very best.
You guys are amazing. You are the best.
Yay!
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Welcome, class of 2021. Welcome, family and friends. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It is my pleasure to greet all of you, whether you are here in New York City or in cities and towns across the country or around the world. We are certainly one very global Columbia community. Your time at Columbia has been a transformative period in your life. The education and experiences, the people you have met, and the perspectives you have gained will influence your very next steps and your long-term future. Each student has their own unique Columbia experience, but at this moment, it is also safe to say that you collectively share a truly historic one, shaped by a challenging year like no other, one that has tested all of us in profound ways. And you have demonstrated a great resilience, flexibility, compassion, and camaraderie that has been truly remarkable. I am thankful that we could all join together today to celebrate. Indeed, it is the marvels of engineering breakthroughs that have enabled our ongoing connectivity with one another throughout this time. And now, here you are, here we are, completing one chapter and about to embark on another. It is an exciting time for each of you, and I congratulate you on this amazing achievement. I have prepared some words that I will share with you later in the program. And now, let's begin our Class Day ceremony, Class of 2021. It is my honor to present to you the Senior Class President for the Columbia Engineering Class of 2021, Kulisa Ndumage. Kulisa is a student in the Chemical Engineering Department, where he has enjoyed taking classes related to climate change and renewable energy. He is originally from Johannesburg, South Africa, and now considers New York his second home. On campus, he was involved in undergraduate research related to seawater reverse osmosis, the Columbia University Scholars Program, 180 Degrees Consulting, the National Society of Black Engineers, and Engineering Student Council as the Senior Class President. In a couple of months, he will be joining Goldman Sachs, bringing his knowledge to the Natural Resources Group. Please join me in welcoming Kulisa.
Thank you for the introduction, Dean Boyce. Before anything else, I want to congratulate you on your new role as University Provost. You've shown great success at running one of the best engineering schools in the world, while maintaining a remarkable ability to wear nothing but black, while still somehow always appearing warm and welcoming. Class of 2021, congratulations to you too. We've learned how to adapt to learning in the most unconventional of formats, how to lean on each other during difficult times, and how to overcome a seemingly insurmountable academic challenge. What I mean is that we somehow finished multivariable calculus. Seriously though, the amount of loss and suffering that the pandemic has brought is absolutely devastating. Yet despite how grueling it's all been, we've shown an incredible amount of resilience while sharing experiences that no other graduating classes have. Never before have seniors yelled, "Mom, I'm in class," during a lecture. Also, previous seniors have probably never worn pajama pants to class as often as we have. In fact, no other seniors have seen their professors' cats, dogs, or toddlers hijack their lectures like we have. Luckily, each and every one of us was still able to gain a rich educational experience in spite of these impediments. After 4 years of rigorous engineering education, we all know that pi can obviously be rounded to 3, acceleration due to gravity is definitely equal to 10, and sine of x is just x. Studying engineering at Columbia specifically has come with its own benefits. After 8 semesters, we now all know what nudisterian means, not because of the core, but because of President Bollinger's 6-page emails. Additionally, no other engineering students in the world could possibly skim a 200-page metaphysics reading the night before and still have the biggest opinions in the seminar. Each of these experiences and the people associated with them have played an integral role in shaping us into the graduates we are today. From your closest study buddy to the stranger who helped you find Chandler Hall, however insignificant, every part of this campus has truly raised us. It's raised us to not only ask the difficult questions, but to answer them too. It's raised us to be ardent and independent. And most importantly, it's raised us to appreciate the connections we've made with each other. Congratulations, class of 2021. Now I'm honored to introduce our keynote speaker and proud Columbia Lion, Rocco B. Commisso, founder and CEO of Mediacom. At the age of 12, Rocco Commisso moved from Italy to the United States, where 9 years later he found himself in your shoes, graduating from Columbia with a degree in industrial engineering. Thereafter, he began his career at Pfizer before returning to Columbia, where he earned an MBA while serving as the president of the business school student body. He spent the next decade in the finance industry, working with cable and entertainment enterprises at Chase Manhattan Bank, now JP Morgan Chase, and Royal Bank of Canada. He then went on to join Cablevision Industries Corporation, where he grew the company from the 25th to the 8th largest cable company in the US during his tenure. In 1995, he founded Mediacom out of his basement to deliver cable to underserved American communities. Today, he still owns and runs the company, which was named the best cable company in the US in 2016. He's no stranger to Columbia. He's been a dedicated alum, devoted to the university and the soccer team, which he was part of during his undergraduate years. If you thought his name sounded awfully familiar, it might have to do with the fact that the soccer stadium at Baker Athletics Complex is named after him. In 2004, the Columbia Spectator listed him as one of its 250 greatest alumni. His life has been marked with assiduousness and tenacity throughout. His experience applying his engineering education broadly makes me beyond excited to welcome him to share his remarks with us today. I hope you will join me in welcoming Rocco Commisso.
Well, good morning, everyone. Thank you, Kalisa, President Bollinger, faculty, family, friends, naturally the students, and a special congratulations to our Dean, Mary Boy. She now has 2 records, the first female dean of Columbia Engineering and the first provost of the university. As you can see from the background, I'm in the beautiful city of Florence. That to me is probably the nicest city in the world. In fact, you should know that 50 yards away from where I stay in the hotel, there's the tomb of Amerigo Vespucci that gave the name America to our country. But in the history of Florence, we didn't just produce Amerigo Vespucci. We have had famous, world-renowned engineers going back 500-600 years ago, just like you. You might have heard of Leonardo da Vinci. You might have heard of Michelangelo, that produced his David here, Giotto, Galileo Galilei, and behind me is the Duomo that Brunelleschi produced 500-600 years ago, that to this day nobody knows how he did it. It's the 7th treasure of the world. And why am I speaking from Florence today? It's because 2 years ago, I invested to buy the local soccer club, ACF Fiorentina, which frankly has led me to make many trips here. And unfortunately cannot be with you today, but I say hello from here and welcome to Florence someday once this damn COVID pandemic goes away from all of us. But today is also a very special day for me because it marks the 50-year anniversary that I also graduated. We graduated in May, you're graduating in April. And in Columbia, it's been the luck of my life. It started out with my parents when they brought me to this country at the age of 12. And within 4 years, after first living in Pennsylvania and the Bronx, went to a school in the Bronx, I was able to, like to use the word hustle, okay? But get myself into Columbia, not being the smartest guy in the streets, with a full scholarship, which today, as you know, it's probably $360,000 for the 4 years. How did I do that? By hustling. I asked my gym teacher, we did not have a soccer team at Mount St. Michael, so I asked my gym teacher my senior year to see if he could find me a scholarship and made me go and see the NYU coach and put me in the American Czechoslovak team where I played 5 or 6 games. He liked me, but came out with just a 50% scholarship. Then I went back to the gym coach. I said, sir, please call Columbia, see if they're interested in me. He did. They got me in right away. In a period of 3 weeks, Columbia accepted me, gave me full scholarships. But after they gave me those scholarships and accepted me, I asked them, but let me ask something, don't you want to see me play if you're going to give me all this money? And you know what they said to me? Rocco, if you're good enough for NYU, you're certainly good enough for Columbia. So Columbia was pretty tough for me. I was unprepared with the rigor of the Delhi student life. I happened in the fall to play soccer. You should know that we had the only undefeated team in the history of Columbia soccer in my freshman year. And boy, when I had to go and read the Iliad, the Odyssey, Machiavelli, and all the other great classics, contemporary civilization, I couldn't do it. So I finished my first semester not very well. Thank God, as I got into the second semester, we had the student riots. I say thank God only because I might have failed out of the school if it wasn't for the student riots, because at the end of those riots, where I supported the university gave me the chances to get in and the scholarships that afforded me to go to school. If it wasn't for those riots, we would not have had a pass-fail system. I was probably failing 1 or 2 courses. So I made it through, thanks to that. I proceeded in doing well later on, better I should say. And by my senior year, I was the captain of the soccer team. Today we talk about diversity, but we had diversity even then, where in my team, my senior team, we had kids from 16 different nations from 5 different continents. And I was so proud to be leading them into the first NCAA playoff, and that was the end of my soccer career. Graduated from Columbia, and you think today is tough, but then was even tougher because we were in the midst of a recession. I couldn't go to away from the metropolitan area because my father was in a hospital. In fact, I graduated in May, and a month later he passed away, and I couldn't find a job in the city. So I remember going up and down Madison Avenue to look for a job in the employment agencies, and finally I located one, and after 4 interviews, I got a job with Pfizer Pharmaceuticals in Brooklyn, New York. I read recently that 60,000 students applied to Columbia, of which only 3.7% were admitted. That's pretty tough to get into Columbia today. So if we were smart then, you're super smart today. For me, I was lucky to get into Columbia largely because not so many students at that time applied, but it gave me the ability to get out of Columbia with a certain confidence level, that I could achieve, or I could do anything that I wanted to do. I went to work from Pfizer. From there, I got a job on the night shift, and Pfizer helped me pay for the school to get to the business school, always Columbia, okay? And given the fact that I had a major in industrial engineering, made it infinitely easy for me to do very well at Columbia. And by the time I got out, I had 17 job offers, but I didn't start right away because I also had a disco. I also was going up to Toronto to meet my wife. I also was working for Pfizer Pharmaceuticals. So I eventually started out in January of 1976 at the Chase Manhattan Bank, where I got lucky once again to be exposed to the cable television business. You probably know the rest of my history. I founded MediaCom in 1995, and we're entering this quarter, which just ended, the 97th quarter, consecutive quarter of year-to-year growth. We're a broadband, and we're in the broadband business. We're delivering super high speeds in the most rural markets of the U.S., for which I'm very proud. We have about 4,000 employees, and it's privately held. When you get to be as old as me, you probably have some advice to give other people. But what I learned is I want to give you five concepts, right, as to what I think is important as you move forward with your life, your career, and thinking about what is important to help you have a more successful career. First of all, you need analytical skills. There, if on a scale of 1 to 10, if I'm a 2, you're a 10. So you don't have to worry about that. You're fully prepared. Columbia's done a great job with you. There's nothing you can't conquer analytically. And but there's other things, okay? And those are as important, in my opinion, to give you a fulfilling career. I say leadership, managerial skills. I don't know if leadership could be taught, but you need to have some of those if you want to move up the ladder once you get into a corporation, in the corporate world. You need to have determination, work hard, which I'm sure you have. You need to have a take charge attitude, self-reliant, self-motivated, especially for those of you that want to become an entrepreneur like myself. Try to control your destiny as you move forward, and be multitask, but single-minded on your primary goal, whatever that goal may be, okay? Be nice to find in you someone who's contrarian. Don't always listen to your teachers, right? So I didn't, right? So if somebody says it's tails, just say it's heads, all right? But believe in the head, because it's not, the people that really make the difference are the ones that are different. And to be different, you can't go with the flow. You got to be different and unique in your thing with principles that go beyond that. That's the leadership, the management skills. On the human skill set, you need to lead by example. You can't tell people you want things to be done this way if you don't do them yourself. So treat people with respect as you want those people to treat you. All right? The same way. On your way up, make sure that you don't burn any bridges and you nurture relationships. In MediaCom, I'm so proud to say that after 25 years of operating a company in a competitive environment through multi-recessions, multiple dislocations, including the most recent one, which is the pandemic, MediaCom has never had a layoff, all right? Not too many companies could say that. Not too many big companies could say that. In fact, big companies, when they lay off people, they think that they're doing the greatest thing in the world, because their objective is to maximize profits as opposed to short-term profits, as opposed to maximizing the well-being and the health of the organization. The last point on this human skill set, have fun. Do everything with your heart. Don't put money at the top of the scale. Put your passion and what you like to do, because it's my very strong opinion that if you work with passion, you like what you're doing, it's not work anymore. And if you like what you're doing, right, sooner or later the money will also come. The other value that I want to discuss, which I don't know if it's taught in school or not, it's a sense of conducting yourself ethically in all walks of life. No lying, no cheating, no shortcuts. Adhere to a principle of fair competition. Don't try to get ahead by hurting somebody else. Be kind and humble. Never compromise your principles. There's a lot of discussions about sexual harassment these days, and I'm just shocked. I remember when I was president of the student body at the Columbia Business School, the 5 officers, I was the president, 2 of the 5 officers were women. 2 of the 5, one was African American, the other one was Pakistani. And I was so proud then. This is, 45 years ago. For a long, long period of time, I've been a huge proponent of women, especially in the workplace, at MediaCom, but it started way earlier than that, because back in the 70s, as I got involved with the soccer program, and later on in the 80s, I was, as the representative of soccer in the Varsity C Club, I was hugely in favor of letting the women be admitted at Columbia University. I think it was in 1984. even though the men's soccer team would get hurt because there were less scholarships available. In my company, it works the same way. You could screw up on your job, but I don't want to hear that hanky-pankies get committed. That's not acceptable. I don't accept that. I will not permit that. And naturally, no discrimination with respect to race, sexual orientation, and being an immigrant myself, you could appreciate that I could never accept anything like that. The last concept that I want to talk about is luck. How luck plays a part in your career and your life. I've been very lucky, actually. I'm 71, I'm still alive, that's number one. Two, very lucky to have the parents that I had. I was able to make my father very, very proud, even though he was not able to attend my graduation at Columbia, when I became the first in his family to graduate from a university, but from a great university like Columbia. I've been lucky also for having married my wife, Catherine, who managed to produce 2 kids, one of whom, Joseph, also graduated from Columbia Engineering School. I've been lucky to have entered the cable business, an industry that few people wanted to cover, but I gladly covered because I want to deal with the cowboys, the entrepreneurs, that distinguish the cable business of yesterday from the other companies that existed then. And I've been very lucky to have been involved with soccer, okay? Soccer has been my life all these years, and that's part of the reason why today I'm in Florence. In a few days, I'm going to go and watch another game, for which all of you are invited. Please come to Florence. Please come to the beautiful city of Florence. You are my guest of watching a game, all right? Make sure you call on Rocco when you want to come back to Columbia. You will be my guest at a game, you know, that we could watch together. And hopefully we'll produce a win, because if it's not win, it's not going to be fun, okay? So my fellow Columbia student, that's been my life. I hope I've imparted on you some of the things that brought me to where I am. Some good, some bad, but I've been very lucky, as I said to you. Columbia's played a major part to me. I hope that after this pandemic, you also have the opportunities I had, you know, to move on with your career, make your parents proud as always, you know, decide what you want to do and do it well. And I hope that after 50 years, you'll come back to Columbia, as I have, and give back to Columbia what Columbia has given you. Thank you.
Congratulations, class of 43 times 47.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Great job, seniors.
Wish you all the best.
We're also proud of you.
Wishing you a glorious future and a healthy one.
You'll be known for your brilliance as well as your extraordinary resilience.
Congratulations. Seize the world.
Congratulations.
We are very proud of you.
Congratulations.
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 Congratulations. Go out there in the world and have a great impact. We are so proud of you.
As in this famous New York song, if you can make it there and now, you can make it anywhere.
You're all very special for making it through.
You're going to make the world a better place.
Congratulations.
Hey.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, all you chemical engineers.
Congratulations.
We're sad to see you go, but very excited to hear about all that you're going to accomplish.
You rock.
We're so happy for you. We're so proud of you.
You've made it. Now be creative.
Go out and do wonderful things.
You did it.
I wish you guys all the best.
Congratulations, graduates.
Congratulations, Columbia Chemical Engineers.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, class of 2021.
Congratulations.
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 Well done.
We're proud of you.
I'm sure you're all going to go on to do great and amazing things, and I look forward to hearing about those.
You had the unique challenge of dealing with a society that now depended on computer science.
You've made us all very proud. It's been an honor to interact with all of you and teach all of you.
It has been an absolute honor to be part of your Columbia experience.
And may you help heal the world from this and other problems.
I feel very proud of you, class of 2021. And I look forward to many amazing things.
You all are amazing.
Congratulations. Speak.
Stay resilient.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, seniors!
It's been a challenging year, but you made it. Congratulations, class of 2021.
Congratulations!
Congratulations!
Electrical engineering rocks!
Congratulations, class of 2021.
Congratulations, class of 2021.
Congratulations!
You guys are the best. Congratulations.
Congratulations!
Now get out and show them what you got!
Congratulations, class of 2021.
Congratulations! Congratulations! You made it.
Take your knowledge and do well in the world.
And this world needs you.
Go out and do wonderful things.
And you're going to face the world with that wonderful experience.
We wish you the best for your career.
Go change the world.
Congratulations, class of 2021.
Congratulations.
My name is Barclay Morrison. I'm a professor of biomedical engineering and serve as Vice Dean for undergraduate programs in Columbia Engineering. I am honored to be here with you today in this unique setting to recognize some of our accomplished undergraduate engineers. In each class, there are men and women who distinguish themselves in their school through superior academic accomplishments and service to others. We invite you to view our digital program for a complete list of all students who received department or athletic awards, were selected as senior marshals and graduate marshals, or were honored with a Leadership and Excellence Award. We applaud your commitment and abilities and remain grateful for your contributions to the Columbia community. It's now my pleasure to recognize the undergraduate awards given on behalf of the Food Foundation School of Engineering and Applied Science. The George Vincent Wendell Memorial Award for 2021 is presented to Adeli Gonzalez. Each department nominates one student for this honor, and from those students put forth, Adeli was selected by vote of the senior class as the one best exemplifying the late Professor Wendell's ideals of character, scholarship, and service. Whether it is representing her classmates, excelling in the classroom, mentoring her peers and prospective students, tutoring middle school students, volunteering her time, or simply being a friendly and thoughtful person, Adeli Gonzalez best exemplifies the consummate mechanical engineer. From being the student representative on the Mechanical Engineering Undergraduate Committee, serving in the Engineering Student Council during her 4 years at Columbia in numerous roles, not to mention 2 terms as a Vice President of Communications, to being the head of the SEAS Peer Mentorship Program for the past 3 years, and serving on Hall Council her freshman year, Adeli always puts helping others first. She always strives to be a voice for her peers and has been able to create positive change within the university. Her research on underwater snake robots, work on computer graphics at McMaster Carr, and her efforts to improve the STEAM distribution system in New York City show that her scholarship knows no bounds. As a first-generation Latina student, Adeli has received numerous honors that emphasize her strong character. She was a finalist in the Hispanic Scholarship Fund Scholar of the Year Award, was named a Columbia Engineering Simitro Scholar, served as an HSF STEM Summit Mentor, and was a Forbes Under 30 Scholar. Her leadership and work is also being honored at Columbia this year through her recognition as Senior Marshal and a Multicultural Affairs Graduation Cord recipient. Congratulations, Adeli. The designation of salutatorian is a prestigious academic honor bestowed on the student who shows the second highest academic record, has superior academic achievements, and reflects leadership, excellence, and impact on Columbia University. Our salutatorian for the class of 2021 is Alexander Paskoff. Alex grew up just north of New York City in Scarsdale, New York, where he developed a strong interest in math and computer science at a young age. During his undergraduate studies, he worked as a research assistant at labs in Columbia, Stanford, EPFL Switzerland, and most recently at MIT. There, he investigated the application of interpretable machine learning methods to reinforcement learning and game theory to produce artificial intelligence, or AI. Ultimately, he created a superhuman poker AI capable of beating world champion human and AI players, while also allowing humans to learn the master-level poker strategies from his interpretable AI. Alex will continue this work and expand the methodology to medicine, environmental science, and finance with MIT professor Dmitry Bertsimis in a PhD starting this fall. He will graduate with honors from the Columbia School of Engineering with a degree in applied math and a minor in computer science. Congratulations, Alexander. The Illig Prize, the highest honor awarded to an engineering graduate, is given to our valedictorian, the student with the highest grade point average. The Illig Prize is awarded by the faculty to Noah Huber-Feely for commendable proficiency in their studies. Growing up on a farm in Tennessee, Noah was a self-taught homeschooler until college. While at Columbia, he continued his computer science and entrepreneurial interests from high school, taking part in 2 startup fellowships, the Tech and Hack New York internship programs. On campus, Noah was a part of several Columbia Space Initiative missions, was a librarian for the CU Sci-Fi Society, and was an active long-distance runner. Focusing on applied machine learning with a minor in statistics, he did natural language processing research here at Columbia and worked on now published research in computational astrophysics at NASA JPL last summer. Noah is passionate about using software and machine learning to help industries improve sustainability and combat climate change. Following graduation, Noah will work on autonomous tractors at Bear Flag Robotics in California. I now would like to introduce this year's recipient of the Illig Prize and the valedictorian for the class of 2021, Noah Huber-Feely, to provide brief remarks of congratulations.
Thank you, Dean Morrison, for that kind introduction. To my fellow engineers, whether you are listening from the dorms around campus or from your homes around the world, we are finally here to celebrate our shared accomplishments. Congratulations, Columbia Engineering Class of 2021. Before I begin, I would like to thank my family, 3 siblings, Questbridge, and all of the incredible people here at Columbia that have inspired me. I homeschooled during high school, so I thought I'd miss my chance to be valedictorian. Well, at least valedictorian of a class size larger than 1. But 4 years hence, I'm honored to be standing here in this role to congratulate this entire class. I know this final year wasn't what we expected, but I've been impressed by how we've pushed on with Zoom rooms, Discord servers, and GroupMe's helping to keep us connected, alongside the occasional snarky Piazza post. While our time as Columbia students culminates here, our greater Columbia journey does not stop now. The community we've kept, even while so distanced, will carry on through our friend groups, the connections we've made, the perspectives we've developed, and the hobbies and skill sets we've picked up. Columbia Engineering's vision is for its graduates to engineer for humanity. This is no empty statement. From our education here, we understand the existential role we as engineers have in society. Climate change needs action. Action not by the next generation and not 10 years hence, but right now. As talented Columbia engineers, now with the credentials to back it, we have an outstanding perspective on the social and environmental impact of our creations. With this, we can make a real difference across every industry at a time in history that needs daring engineering solutions across all fields. Against this existential backdrop, Columbia has broadened my horizons and inspired me to dream big, as I'm sure all of you can relate. I've discussed sci-fi futures with classmates, explored the exciting future of machine learning with Professor Verma, 3D printed CubeSat parts in the makerspace, and developed joke-writing robots using state-of-the-art AI research. I am not alone in these accomplishments, as we have all designed and built incredible feats of engineering during our time here. For many, our first exposure to the wonders of the CEAS community came from our Art of Engineering teams. In my case, my team built a laser tag game. By the end, the class had taught me both the fun and the deeply important things we can accomplish when engineers from every discipline put their minds together and build things they care about. So whether you'll be a part of engineering the solutions to climate change, enabling the sustained habitation of Mars, or keeping the world moving forward, it has been an honor as a class to overcome the challenges of our past 4 years and enter this new and exciting stage of our lives together. Congratulations, Columbia Engineering, Class of 2021. It is now my pleasure to introduce Professor Suleiman Kashani, Senior Vice Dean of Columbia Engineering and Vice Provost for Teaching and Learning of Columbia University, who will present the graduate awards. Please welcome Dean Kashani.
Thank you, Noah. I'm now pleased to present the Graduate Student Awards to those students who embody and preserve the ideals and heritage of the Fu Foundation School of Engineering and Applied Science. The Morton B. Friedman Memorial Prize for Excellence is presented this year to Ting-Jun Chen. Ting-Jun received a Master of Science and a PhD in Electrical Engineering from Columbia University in 2015 and 2020 respectively, under the advisement of Professor Gil Zussman. He is currently a postdoctoral associate at Yale University and will start as an assistant professor in the Department of Electrical and Computer Engineering at Duke University in fall 2021. His research interests are in the areas of networking and communications, with a specific focus on next-generation wireless networks and Internet of Things systems. Congratulations, Ting-Jun. The Graduate Student Life Leadership Awards are given each year to select students whose participation and involvement at Columbia have enhanced the spirit of graduate student life on campus, creating a more purposeful, caring, and celebrative community. The Master's recipients this year are Amy Moses and Christoph Brown. Amy is originally from Mill Valley, California. She received her Bachelor of Arts degree in Mathematics and Psychology from Northwestern University in 2019. Amy is graduating from Columbia with a Master of Science degree in Applied Mathematics. She served as Treasurer of the Engineering Graduate Student Council and a member of Columbia Engineering's Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Commission. She's now working as a machine learning engineer at Expedition Technology in Washington, D.C. Christoph was born in Brooklyn and raised in North Carolina. For as long as he could walk, he was interested in computers and technology. Christoph completed his undergraduate degree in electrical engineering and computer engineering at North Carolina State University. During his graduate studies as a GEM Fellow, he became an inventor of new technology. He's currently working in software engineering at Apple. In the future, he hopes to engineer for humanity and positively influence the world. Congratulations, Amy and Christoph. The doctoral recipient of the Graduate Student Leadership Award this year is Shreya Narasimhan. Shreya is a biomedical engineer from Switzerland. She grew up in Geneva and did her undergraduate studies and master's in life sciences at EPFL. She worked on medical devices and neural interfaces for 2 years at Harvard Medical School before joining Columbia Engineering for a PhD in biomedical engineering. During her time at Columbia, she served as Vice President and President of the Engineering Graduate Student Council. Connecting with students has been the most rewarding part of her journey at Columbia, and she's thankful for this experience. Congratulations, Shreya. I would now like to invite Rohit Sharma, who was selected by the faculty and his peers to speak on behalf of graduate students at Class Day. Prior to joining Columbia University, Rohit worked as technology consultant at Infosys. He then enrolled in our Management Science and Engineering Master of Science program. Rohit has contributed to the Columbia engineering community as a board member of the Engineering Graduate Student Council and of the Product Managers Club. He has worked on engaging students during the pandemic through multiple events and has helped increase awareness about career pathways and in providing more opportunities for coffee chats as well as practicing elevator pitches. Please welcome Rohit Sharma and congratulations, class of 2021.
Congratulations, class of 2021. This year has been a momentous year for all of us. And for some of us, it's been all the more so. We at the School of Engineering, all of us, have overcome many challenges. And each one of us has had a story that is not just unique, but profoundly inspiring. As engineers, we have been resilient to adapt to the change that is happening around us. And we've worked on problems that have helped us acquire new skills, have invested our time in research, as well as we've solved problems that are not only cutting edge, but are for the larger purpose of serving humanity. I would invite you all, on your behalf, thanking all our professors, staff, members of the administration, and especially our fellow students who made our time at Columbia special, helped us grow academically and professionally, as well as made us feel at home at Columbia. Well, at this point in time, when we've accomplished a fair degree of professional and academic achievements, may I invite you to be bold and gritty, and to draw inspiration from your own journey at Columbia. So congratulations again, class of 2021, for pursuing your aspirations while being empathetic and caring for those at home, for your friends, family, and your close ones. This is your accomplishment. May I now invite Dean Boyce to present the faculty awards, as well as to share her words of congratulations for the class of 2021. Thank you.
Hello. Congratulations, Columbia Engineering. Today is the day you have long been waiting for. Together we celebrate the culmination of your time at Columbia, a time that has been marked by much intellectual and personal development and many triumphs, enriched by new friends and diverse perspectives. You each arrived at Columbia from very different backgrounds that have framed your time and your growth here in very different ways. As I've said before, you each have had a singular, unique Columbia experience that has prepared you for many career paths and life journeys. You have shown great strength, perseverance, and resilience in the face of enormous challenges and disruptions. That in itself has been a tremendous learning experience and test of character that prepares you in a deep and meaningful way for the future ahead. We are so inspired and proud to know the impact of the Columbia experience on our alumni, their careers, and their life journeys. Our Class Day speaker, Rocco Camiso, who came here on a scholarship more than 50 years ago, overcoming many obstacles during his career, went on to found one of the largest cable provider companies, bringing communication services to underserved areas around our country, bringing his engineering impact on humanity. His passion and his journey inspires us all during these challenging times. Indeed, you are commencing in the midst of truly global challenges that your generation must confront. From the current pandemic to dramatic consequences of climate change, from economic upheaval and income disparity, to the need for equitable access to resources and health care, from our enhanced connectivity across the globe creating a global community, to our urgent need to address inequality and create more opportunities for all, locally and globally. These are big challenges, often called grand challenges, but we have every reason to be optimistic. As engineers, you are fundamentally creative. You have a mindset focused on overcoming obstacles to find solutions that work in the real world. Where others see constraints, you see possibilities. You see the excitement of new approaches and new beginnings. You know how a wrong turn can lead to a thrilling new discovery. You also have a moral compass and your human empathy, both of which are critical to meeting the challenges of our world and of our lives. And this gives us all hope for the future. Never before has the world been more in need of your abilities and talents, your fresh insights and human perspective. In the past year, we have seen dramatic ways in how technology can benefit us. From virtual meetings and connections, enabling a connected humanity, to the fast-paced adoption of renewable energy breakthroughs and electrification of vehicles, paving the way to a sustainable humanity, to the rapid developments of vaccines, a truly amazing feat in human history, so critical today for a healthy humanity. But we've also seen challenges technology can bring and the need for our progress to be guided by our ethics and integrity. As Columbia engineers and applied scientists, you are prepared to be the creators and the leaders of tomorrow. You truly embody our school vision and aspirations, Columbia Engineering for Humanity. And I am confident that you are well prepared to meet the needs of this moment and to flourish. And you won't be doing this alone. No matter where your journey takes you, you will always be a Columbia engineer, part of a community that is committed to supporting one another and to bringing to life our Engineering for Humanity vision. You entered Columbia as among the best and brightest of your generation. You have been surrounded by and supported by an intellectually dynamic community of peers and faculty who have inspired you, helped you, taught you, listened to you, debated with you, and learned from you, and shared many unique experiences with you. This is your Columbia family. And you now commence to join a vibrant network of alumni across the country and around the world. The relationships forged at Columbia will only grow in importance as the years go on. We are so proud of you, and we can't wait to see what you do. To the C's graduates of 2021, I join with your family and friends, our faculty and staff, to say congratulations. You are ready to seize the world. And now, on your behalf, I am pleased to present 2 awards to honor exceptional faculty. The 4 honorees represent the highest standards of excellence and leadership in areas that have directly impacted the lives of students here at Columbia. The first award is the Edward and Carol Kim Award for Faculty Involvement. In appreciation for their son Brian's experience here as a student, this award honors a faculty member who is not only an excellent teacher, but also shows a special and personal commitment to students. I am pleased to present the Kim Award for Faculty Involvement to Professors Ali Hirsa and Yevgeny Yazilevsky. Ali Hirsa is a professor and director of financial engineering in IEOR and managing partner at Salma Capital, LLC, a New York hedge fund. He has worked in a variety of quantitative positions in Wall Street. Ali's research interests are algorithmic trading, machine learning, deep learning, data mining, optimization, computational, and quantitative finance. His focus has been on machine learning applications in finance, specifically in asset management, and also developing learning algorithms on signal extraction from data. He is a frequent speaker at academic and practitioner conferences. He is currently a member of the Board of Visitors of the College of Computer, Mathematical, and Natural Sciences at the University of Maryland, College Park. Congratulations, Professor Hirsa. Yevgeny Yazilevsky is a lecturer in discipline of innovation and design in the Mechanical Engineering Department. He focuses on project-based and active learning courses that seek to engage and improve engineering education through the design process. Before coming to Columbia, he ran the Invent at SU program at Syracuse University, where he oversaw students conceptualize, design, and pitch novel inventions in a six-week competitive format. Congratulations, Professor Yezalewski. The second award was created by engineering alum and former university trustee Armin Evanesians and his wife Jeanette to honor a faculty member whose actions encourage men and women from diverse backgrounds to become part of the academic community of engineering education. This year, I'm proud to present the Jeanette and Armin Evanesians Diversity Award to Professor Chris Boyce and Professor Augustine Chantreux. Chris Boyce started as an assistant professor in chemical engineering at Columbia in January 2018. His research focuses on the physics of multi-phase granular flows. His honors and awards include being named to the Forbes 30 Under 30 list in science and winning the Sabic Young Professional Award from the AICHE for outstanding contributions to particle technology. As a Gates Cambridge Scholar at the University of Cambridge, he received the Dankworth Pergamon Prize for the best PhD thesis in chemical engineering. At Columbia, Professor Boyce has served on multiple committees for improving undergraduate education in engineering and also working to expand the diversity of our undergraduate and graduate student body. Augustine Chantreux is an associate professor of computer science at Columbia University since 2010, where he directs the Mobile Social Lab. The goal of his research is to reconcile the benefits of personal data and social networks with a commitment to fairness and privacy. His latest results address transparency in personalization, the role of human mobility and privacy across several domains, the efficiency of crowdsourcing content curation, and the fairness of incentives and algorithms used in social networking. His research has led to 35 papers in Tier 1 conferences and has been covered by several media outlets, including the New York Times blog, the Washington Post, The Economist, and The Guardian. He received an NSF Career Award in 2013 and the ACM Sigmetrics Rising Star Award in 2013. Professor Chantreux is proud to accept this award on behalf of the many hardworking and extraordinary students and colleagues from Columbia Engineering, Barnard College, Cornell University, and the School of Social Work at Columbia, including Nathan Jason Aguilar, Gabriela Arredondo, Chi Chen, Haim Eisenbach, William Fry, Miranda Morency, Melanie Sawyer, Kwawe Ariana Taylor, Victoria Swamuno, Sean Yu, and Desmond Patton. These individuals have provided research in his lab and department, all of whom share his passion in making the field of computer science more diverse, including in the AI for All Summer School. Congratulations, Professor Boyce and Professor Chantreux. Thank you for all you do for our students. And now, the president of our university, Lee Bollinger, would like to address our 2021 graduates. Immediately following his remarks, we will announce the names and recognize the achievements of each one of this year's graduates. Lee C. Bollinger became Columbia University's 19th president in 2002 and is the longest-serving Ivy League president. He is Columbia's first Seth Lowe Professor of the university, a member of the law school faculty, and one of the nation's preeminent First Amendment scholars. President Bollinger is the author or co-editor of numerous books on freedom of speech and the press. President Bollinger is a member of the Pulitzer Prize Board and a co-founder of the Knight First Amendment Institute at Columbia University, a center devoted to defending speech and press freedoms in the digital age through litigation, scholarship, and public education. In 2014, he established Columbia Global Freedom of Expression, a project that brings together experts and activists with faculty and students to advance understanding of international norms that protect expression and the free flow of information. In 2017, Bollinger founded Columbia World Projects, an initiative that mobilizes the university's researchers and scholars to work with governments, organizations, businesses, and communities to tackle global challenges. In 2020, he announced the university's commitment to becoming carbon neutral by 2050, and in 2021, he launched the Columbia Climate School, the first new school at the university in 25 years. A fellow of the American Academy of Arts and Sciences and the American Philosophical Society, Bollinger is also the recipient of multiple honorary degrees from universities in the United States and abroad. He is also a great supporter of the engineering school. Please enjoy this special message to our graduates.
It is an honor for me to say, on behalf of the entire university, congratulations to you, the School of Engineering and Applied Sciences, Class of 2021. We join your parents, families, and friends in recognizing and celebrating this momentous achievement in your lives. And I must add, we are admiring and appreciative of the courage and creativity you have summoned in responding to the crises we and the entire world have endured over this past year especially. Our college experiences seem to have a special and powerful hold on our memories, but yours will be unusually marked in your minds for the rest of your lives, just as these times will be noted by others for decades, even centuries to come. My moment to speak to you at length is not on this occasion, but rather at the university commencement on April 30th. So I will save my principal thoughts and remarks for then. But I do have a few things I want to say specifically about your time at Columbia. When one thinks back over what you have been through, lived through, since you entered the university just 4 years ago, it is by any measure I can think of extraordinary. I cannot begin here to recount what it has been like. Most of us come to college, focus on our classes, our majors, and benefit from the countless interactions the academic community uniquely provides to advance our knowledge, our intellectual capacities, and our general maturity into adulthood and citizenship. Outside events affect us, to be sure, but our primary lived experience is within the university. But your education has been composed not only of these opportunities, but also of the experiences of living through, of living within one of the most consequential periods in history. Everything that has happened outside these academic gates has touched us, often deeply and profoundly. Your education, therefore, has been uniquely shaped by these times. That means many things, but one in particular I want to highlight. I don't think our minds are ever more alert or more receptive to knowledge and understanding than when we are immersed in a truly fine liberal arts education such as Columbia provides. Everything that is within the reach of the human intellect, as it has been pursued over the course of human history and up to the present moment, is present and available to us to explore. Although the limits of time and energy mean we will necessarily only be able to grasp just a little of this vast body of knowledge, at least for these 4 years, before we begin the inevitable process of specialization and narrowing of our mental focus, we do have the privilege of living within and with the widest and most expansive intellectual horizon. This is, in essence, what a true liberal arts education is. And when you begin to see the relationship between a fully lived life and a liberal arts education, that is the most special. I am not speaking here of knowledge as instrumental or practical, although it certainly can very helpfully be that. I am thinking rather of how we integrate every part of our lives, the intellect with the experience of life, and in doing so, we are able to determine the shape of our existence. The ability to draw on knowledge is the source of our power to do good things. But it is also the source of simple understanding, of generating emotions like compassion and empathy, and of finding joy and solace in good times and bad. So the fact that you have been in college in this momentous period of history, while it certainly has not been easy, has given you special opportunities to see and to feel this relationship between the life of the mind and life itself. In the future, as we emerge from these crises, my deepest hope is that you will discover these benefits and be able to draw on them for the rest of your lives. Let me close by saying how wonderful it is to have you, our students, especially knowledgeable in the areas of engineering, technology, and applied science in the university. Never have these fields been more important than they are today. Having your presence in our community has therefore been especially important. Thank you, and congratulations to Columbia University's class of 2021.
Christophe Jean-Michael Brown, Dr. Tingjun Chen, Xiaowen Chen, Tanmay Chopra, Samuel Deng, Senbiao Fang, Lauren Elizabeth Friend, Mahshid Gassemi Dehkordi, Hollis Marin Lev, Amy Rose Moses, Srivatsa Mysore Panduranga, Zhangtian Ouyang, Dr. Salman Ehtasham Kasim, Shivani Shankar, Rohit Sharma, Songli Wang, Abi Yadav, Shi Yun Yang, Richard Yao, Liane Akemi Young, Jiayang Zhou, Wissam Abdel Noor, Parvati Abdul Purkar, Dr. Nathan Casey Abrams, Tom Nathan Jules Ashash, Adesi Onyeka Adigwe, Amitya Agarwal, Jay Agarwal, Kanika Agarwal, Priyal Agarwal, Pratyush Agrawal, Shreya Agrawal, Shubham Agrawal, Sujay Agrawal, Vineet Anthony Aguiar, Gustav Adritz, Adil Haq Ahmad, Yusuf Saad Ahmad, Muhammad Uzair Ahmed, Mihir Ahuja, Jihao Ai, Aishwarya, Marugank Milind Akarte, Deka Aliya Akbar, Mohammed Jafar Al-Lawati, Salman Bandar Alamadi, Ryan Alafi, Denis Alexandrov, Abdulrahman Fauzan A. Al-Fauzan, Kala Abdulrahman Al-Hamdan, Abdul Jabbar Abdul Razak Al Hamoud, Dr. Sakar Bader Al Kirif, Emily Louise Alloway, Mohammed Al Mijul, Dr. Mirella Loraini Altoy, David Alvarez Cespedes, Antoni, Jia An, Lun An, Lin An, Kavita Anant, Pierre Andoran, Paula Angel, Lalit Kumar Anadivara, Rika Arakawa, Brian Arias, Kayum Arif, Dr. Todd Arnold, Anushri Pankaj Arora, Ishan Arora, Miguel Angel Arroyo, Panajotis Arvanitis, Vishwa Vipul Asher, Reshma Ashraf Bina, Adam Atia, Tara O'Brien Atkinson, Dr. Evangelos Atladakis, Anjani Prasad, Bumipak Ayuarakul, Miriam Ayadi, Peter Aden, Ray Bai, Lynn Ball, Kartik Balasubramaniam, Ritesh Baldava, Dr. Maynard Marshall Ball, Sasank Bandi, Sungjay Bang, Somawan Banawat, Sichen Bao, Yifan Bao, Sofia Barbosa, Andrea Bari, Aditya Swapneshu Baser, Katya Basmasi, Alec James Batts, Daniel Milgram Beaglehole, Luke Carlton Beasley, Hansel Guillermo Beckman, Rupia Ranjan Behera, Shu Bei, Austin Lee Bell, Yue Ben, Mehdi Benani Smyers, Adam C. Bennett, Paula Betancourt, Ruturaj Bhagat, Rahul Hitesh Kumar Balani, Abhishek Ban, Dr. Jalaj Bandari, Divya Bansali, Hima Bindu Bardwaj, Vishaka Bhattacharjee, Akshat Boshan, Shreya Bhuwania, Hanwen B, Jiachuan B, Jingya B, Chanwen B, Jiming Bian, Ian Henry Belinge, Pritam Biswas, Anastasia Dina Bizios, Dr. Nicole Rose Blumenfeld, Joshua Patrick Bly, Umesh Bodwani, Estefania Bohorquez, Mitalesh Srihari Bolini, Zineb Buizi, Fabio Vaz de Melo Braz, Dr. John Whitlock Brooks, Eric Cushman Bryant, Tolulope Ayudeji Bukola, Isabel Elise Sponge, Jackson Rob Burdett, Brennan Robert Boucher, Jalaluddin Butt, Alexandra Elizabeth Butke, Mingwei Tsai, Shuting Sarah Tsai, Yongqi Tsai, Yuwei Tsai, Zhang Tsai, Zhishen Tsai, Han Kun Chao, Nan Chao, Tianyi Chao, Wenxin Chao, Yingyu Chao, Yu Chao, Yuet Chao, Yunjie Chao, Jicheng Chao, Gino Ottavio Castellucci, Thomas Cozzero, Salvi Cavicchio, Shengnan Sen, Augustine Cha, Sekat Chakraborty, Sai Varun Cha, Simon Chamorro Ramirez, Douglas Chan, Ryan Naveen Chandra, Joshua Chang, Mingfang Chang, Ni Chang, Oscar Chang, Xiaoshui Chang, Zhihua Chang, Junyu Chao, Indrajit Samrat Singh Chauhan, Shubham Chavan, Guangyang Che, David Chaiki, Anand Chen, Ava Emily Chen, Bojan Chen, Chengyuan Chen, Chengyi Chen, Chunrun Chen, Chutian Chen, Dahua Chen, Dr. David Chen, Hao Chen, Hao Xian Chen, Jeffrey Chen, Jia Ying Chen, Jie Chen, Jie-Yu Chen, Jonathan Ernest Chen, Kai-Fu Chen, Kiwei Chen, Quan-Wei Chen, Liang Yu Chen, Liu Xia Chen, Liu Xin Chen, Qijie Chen, Shenqi Chen, Xiling Chen, Shujian Chen, Shunan Chen, Suwei Chen, Taiyu Chen, Tianjian Chen, Ting Chen, Wansheng Chen, Weihan Chen, Wei Tao Chen, Wenjie Chen, Dr. Shi Chen, Xiangying Chen, Xiaoguang Chen, Xiaoyu Chen, Xingyi Chen, Xuan Chen, Yang Chen, Yanru Chen, Ye Chen, Yi Chen, Yi Yao Chen, Yu Chen, Yunqi Chen, Yuru Chen, Yurui Chen, Zeyang Chen, Zhiyuan Chen, Chen Jiyuan, Ziyun Chen, Jingyue Cheng, Mateng Cheng, Yachen Cheng, Dr. Zhengchan Cheng, Jure Cheng, Inwai Qiang, Terry Lee Chern, Mingho Chiang, Smit Devang Cheda, Ka Hin Chin, Alejandra Chinea, Radhika Priya Chinny, David Chitanava, William Nicholas Chu, Yu Ting Chu, Hei Yun Cho, Jabin Choi, Ji In Choi, Piyush Prashant Chowdhury, Priya Ashok Kumar Chowdhury, Rohan Chowdhury, Shipra Deepak Chowdhury, Tasnia Chowdhury, Nicholas Paul Christman, Cherry Chuk Yi Chu, T. Tui Lin Chu, Su Yi Chuang, Anmol Chuk, Qingfeng Chui, Lavish Chum, Pavan Kumar Chandi, Alexander Thomas Chung, Sahil Chutani, Arno Cognate, Justin Ty Cohen, Laura Correo Galliano, Chen Shen Sui, Emily Cunin, Kelsey Danielle Custodio, Benjamin Sherwin, John Peter Dasiak, Hao Dong Dai, Tian Yi Dai, Yao Tian Dai, Rohit Dalal, Nathan Joseph Dale, Yuan Chu Dong, Endrick Dawes, Vedant Ashutosh Dave, Rajlakshmi Day, Margarita de la Garza Coronado, Swapnav Deka, Alex Leon Della Fontaine, Marco Michael Delajenko, Stefano Della Rosa, Guillaume Gregory Marie Delorme, Luke Benjamin Demo, Lishangzhen Deng, Piaoying Deng, Xining Deng, Weijie Deng, Yifeng Deng, Yingying Deng, Stephen Robert Denny, Edward Enrico de Paula, Aditya Desai, Vishali Hamlata Devanand, Jonah H. Dakin, Sarah Nicole DeMonte, Ujwal Dinesha, Huping Ding, Shui Song Ding, Zijia Ding, Michael James Diodato, Corey Ditmars, Kyle Patrick DeTonto, Paul Kwok Hong Don, Zhang Hui Dong, Yi Dong, Yinan Dong, Isaac Carl Donis, Christopher Tony D'Onofrio, James Walter Das Gollin, Young Do, Manas Amish Dreswala, Hongbo Du, Xinyuan Du, Ying Du, Yuhui Du, Francois Chuan Yu Duan, Lei Duan, Wei Ran Duan, Yi Cheng Duan, Zhuo Shu Duan, Amrita Dutta, Geraldi Zakwan, Alexander Nikolai Dezina, Megan Elizabeth Isley, Dr. Omar El Usni, Julian El Nadaf, Jeffrey Aloyan, Andrew William Els, Carmine Elvesio, Craig Jansen Emmett, Sarah Majid Anani, Brian Joseph Esposito, Nicholas Philip Etz, Alika Fala, Chen Chi Fan, Joshua Fan, Shi Jie Fan, Si Chi Fan, Wen Fan, Xiao Yu Fan, Zhu Qi Fan, Yu Hong Fan, Zining Fan, Xin Fang, Michaela Farah, Samantha Brayley Ferris, Lauren Farrell, Oladotun Fatade, Jingbo Feng, Tao Xing Feng, Wenhan Feng, Yi Feng, Yuan Feng, Wendy Feng, Wendy Patricia Fernandez, Erica Ferrara, Dr. Nathan Robert Finney, Eve Fishinevich, Sean Kevin Rona Fitzgerald, Graydon Flatt, Vincent Fleury, Christina Florestein, Daniela Marie Fodera, Cara E. Fragola, Louis-Joseph Mansour Francois, Peter C. Fry, Brian Lance Frost, Jiang Fu, Yi Cheng Fu, Yi Wen Fu, Dr. E. Dean Feng, Hitika Vipulgada, Erwan Gator, Tian Gan, Uchu Gan, Sidesh Atul Gandhi, Pooja Ganesh, Chang Gao, Heiyang Gao, Min Shuang Gao, Qi Gao, Dr. Wenbo Gao, Sharon Gao, Yang Gao, Yuan Gao, Aditi Garg, Dr. Akash Kashitij Garg, Sasank Garakapati, Irun Ge, Anders Geil, Jason George, Madeline George, Dimitrios S. Georgopoulos, Vahe Garakanyan, Michelle Ghazali, Mihal Giemza, Quentin Antoine Guy Glengettis, Andrew Todd Globman, Kaylee Christine Glenny, Anish Goel, Go Shu Hao Justin, Ipek Sime Gokulu, Julian Goldberg, Romaine Goldmuntz, Sri Kapish Golapalli, Mikhail Goldman, Dhruv Ashok Gundalia, Lin Wei Gong, Zhen Gong, Vignesh V. Gopal, Modhuli Devashish Goswami, Yehudis Gottesfeld, Dr. Kumar Gautam, Manik Goyal, Naman Goyal, Julian Grand Clement, Garrison Grogan, Chao Xuan Gu, Chao Yu Gu, Ruo Ming Gu, Siyu Gu, Wenze Gu, Xin Gu, Shinsin Gu, Ying Gu, Yuxuan Gu, Zhangyuan Gu, Bob Guan, Laurent Michel Genan, Hao Min Gui, Theo Guignard, Tejas Ravindra Gujar, Mohit Chander Gala, Joyce Guo, Longwei Guo, Pinjie Guo, Wei Yi Guo, Xin Guo, Xinan Guo, Yu Guo, Yushuang Guo, Jilin Guo, Ji Yi Guo, Jineng Guo, Amog Gupta, Bhavya Gupta, Isha Gupta, Keshav Gupta, Swati Gupta, Jitesh Prasad Gaurav, Ishan Guru, Dr. Craig Lawrence Gutterman, Maximilian Haas Hager, Jad Haj Ali, Samrat Halder, Saman Nadim Hamidi, Feng Yu Han, Guoxiang Han, Tian Yao Han, Wen Yu Han, Yang Yuan Han, Yu Hong Han, Jiang Ming Hao, Jian Chao Hao, Run Yu Hao, Harshit Harpaldas, Bingzhen He, Cheng Yue He, Fang Pu He, Mao Kun He, Mang Yao He, Xi Jie He, Wei Ran He, Wen Jie He, Xiaohong He, Xinyuan He, Xinzi He, Xun He, Yujie He, Sarah Henry, Camilo Hernandez, Abigail Rose Hirschman, Julia Carmen Hastings, Nitya Hinduja, Ian Ho, Eoi Kwan Ho, Levi A. Holmes III, Masatoshi Honda, Ke Jung Hong, Abir Al-Hok, Riazul Hok, Manzil Hossein, Nicholas Ho, Wunan Ho, Fatme Ahmad Hurani, Cha Ho Sheng, David Everest Sheng, Hao Yun Shu, Shang Yun Shu, Li Chen She, Cheng Hu, Han Shu Hu, Hao Hui Hu, Ya Yang Hu, Chi Hu, Wan Ning Hu, Wen Kai Hu, Xiao Yun Hu, Yi Hui Hu, Yin Bo Hu, Yi Zhang Hu, Yue Hu, Yu Hong Hu, Yun Xiao Hu, Xi Zhang Hu, Xi Jia Hua, Yu Yun Hua, Chao Huang, Chen Huang, Chen Yu Huang, Danielle Huang, Dongchen Huang, Guanjie Huang, Jiao Wen Huang, Jin Huang, Junhao Huang, Junhui Huang, Luwen Huang, Luke Huang, Maoding Huang, Po Yu Huang, Ruo Qi Huang, Shuo Huang, Shu Yu Huang, Tie Liang Huang, Timothy Hao Huang, Vincent Huang, Wei Jia Huang, Wei Yi Huang, Yang Chen Huang, Yi Hao Huang, Yi Ming Huang, Ying Wen Huang, Yue Bin Huang, Yuhan Huang, Yujing Huang, Yuming Huang, Zhezhou Huang, Zhili Huang, Lam Ki Hong, Yang Huang, Mohammed Masih Ibrahim, Madison Ann Eyrig, Jungwon Im, Dr. Yuta Inaba, Shrikar Bharadwaj Indaram, Sarin Indra Suksri, Haralomposh Yano, Tanya Maria Iskandar, Ali Israel, Shaurya Jadeja, Shreya Sai Prasad Jadhav, Sanjana Jagannathan, Aditya Jain, Hritik Jain, Satvik Jain, Shashank Jaiprakash, Watsal Jaipuria, Margaret Analura Jackas, Siddhant Janaki Raman, Daniel Jang, Axel Orn Jansen, Daniel Jaroslavich, Oscar Victor Jaskowski, Min Chul Jian, Pooja Jathani, Dr. Mayank Jalaria, Feng Ji, Xiao Ji, Yue Ji, Shenlu Jia, Zheqiang Jia, Dr. Randy Qingyu Jia, Zilong Jia, Libo Jian, Yidong Jian, Huimin Jiang, Junyang Jiang, Lin Jiang, Ruyan Jiang, Shuai Jiang, Shunhua Jiang, Weifan Jiang, Wenxi Jiang, Xiao Jiang, Yi Jiang, Yibo Jiang, Yihang Jiang, Yumeng Jiang, Xiaoshuan Jiang, Zhengping Jiang, Dr. Andrew Matthew Jimenez, Zheng Xiaojin, Emily Wei Jin, Hao Jin, Ming Jin, Xiao Jin, Yiting Jin, Yubei Jin, Raghav Jindal, Hao Yujing, Yan Wenjing, Asma Jan, Vrinda Johri, Alexander Brecky Johnson, Thorsten Johnson, Cheng Yu Ju, Chen Anju, Luis Suarez, Samuel Harrison Jubb, Raphael Samuel Yankel Judkowitz, Neha Julka, Panchanak Jumra Stanason, Jin Wu Zhang, Simran Kalera, Nikhil Kamoji, Yusha Mohammed Kamran, Jia Kang, Yang Kang, Ashutosh Sanjay Kanetkar, Mihir Bhavesh Kansara, Rajvardhan Kapatnis, Archit Ajay Kapoor, Rahul Karandikar, Brett John Karopsik, Shravan Karthik, Nicholas Alexander Kasanov, Ruo Fan Ke, Dr. Christopher Robert Kedzie, Arusha Kelkar, Rachel Tara Keller, Dr. Bahar Kalaginajad, Rayan Rashid Khan, Sujay Kandagal, Aditi Kandelwal, Vaibhav Kankar, Juhi Kamani, Mansi Kemka, Inara Shahnavaz Kiraj, Abhay Khosla, Osama Khurshid, Dr. Bomho Kim, Elaine Sun Ah Kim, Guillaume Kim, Sohyun Kim, Dr. Sung Justin Kim, Woojin Kim, Youngbin Kim, Daniel Chase Class, Federico Klinkert, Clement Ko, John Ko, Shalva Ariel Cohen, Linghan Kong, Nicola Ann Kornbluth, Gutham Reddy Kotapale, Abhinit Ashish Kothari, Mahita Kotapali, Adam Jordan Kravitz, Saritha Krishna Kumar, Nandini Krishna Swami, Hugh Crow Freeman, Kimberly Ruth Krupa, Sally Man Kwan, Choyu Kwang, Lei Kwang, Ankar Sanjay Kulkarni, Anant Ravi Kumar, Harshit Kumar, Rohit Ramesh Kumar, Sachit Kumar, Sumya Kumar, Han Wen Kuo, Hyukjun Kwan, Brett William Lemuro, Priyanka Vijay Lahoti, Yuan Shi Lai, Nishita Lamba, Nick Lamb, Roberto Landazuri, Tomas Antonio Lorraine Ariano, Michael John Latour, Shubham Sandeep Lavalekar, Zachary Tate Lawless, Kwak Nam Lee, Brian Sang-Hoon Lee, Harry Heyman Lee, Ho-Jin Lee, Hui Lee, Joanne Lee, Jungwoo Lee, Pin Yu Lee, Richard Lee, Sung Ha Lee, Sung Chu Lee, Si Hyun Lee, Jack Yicha Lee, Supasara Lizwadrikal, Brian Lay, Chong Lei, Hung Yi Lei, Zijing Lei, Matthew G. Lemieux, Alan Jen Lee, Ben Lee, Benson Bin Bin Lee, Bakshi Lee, Boya Lee, Shangjian Lee, Chi Chu Lee, Don Rong Lee, Du Lee, Franklin Lee, Haijing Lee, Hanjun Lee, Hanyu Lee, Hongyi Lee, Jiajie Lee, Jianing Lee, Jiayu Lee, Jiefan Lee, Jingyun Li, Ji Yao Li, Zhongqi Li, Kainan Li, Kei Li, Leiyun Li, Lena Li, Linbo Li, Lingji Li, Li Haoyu Li, Mengyi Li, Mengying Li, Mingfei Li, Minghao Li, Chen Yi Li, Jin Yi Li, Ray Li, Wei Guang Li, Ri Zhe Li, Luo Xi Li, Xi Wei Li, Xi Yun Li, Songlin Li, Serena Li, Tyron Li, Tao Li, Tingwei Li, Tunyan Li, Wangxi Li, Xiaopeng Li, Xin Li, Xin Xiao Li, Xinwei Li, Xuan Li, Xuefei Li, Zhuhang Li, Zhupeng Li, Yang Li, Yicheng Li, Yicheng Li, Yifan Li, Yihao Li, Yueying Li, Yumiao Li, Jiahao Li, Zelin Li, Jihao Li, Zhen Li, Zhenhao Li, Zhuoran Li, Zui Li, Jiepeng Lian, Jiayi Liang, Su Liang, Tianzi Liang, Shudong Liang, Yi Liang, Yiqing Liang, Xuanyi Liao, Stanislas Liebman, Dr. Jin Tak Lim, Tae-Yun Lim, Alex Lin, Chu Cheng Lin, Hao Lin, Jiaming Lin, Liu Lin, Pingfeng Lin, Kei Lin, Xishuan Lin, Stephen Feng Lin, Tianyi Lin, Vincent Suihao Lin, Weichang Lin, Xiaobin Lin, Shuju Lin, Shudong Lin, Yichao Lin, Yuan Chunyu Lin, Yongqing Lin, Zejun Lin, Zhen Lin, Zheshi Lin, Zheyuan Lin, Yimeng Ling, Yixin Ling, Yuan Junling, Caroline Ling, Lauren Elizabeth Lajeski, Anke Liu, Boyu Liu, Boyu Liu, Chong Yu, Chong Liu, Fan Qi Liu, Fuxin Liu, Guangdong Liu, Haishu Liu, Haotang Liu, Huaxiang Liu, Jessica Zexin Liu, Jiaqi Liu, Jiaqi Liu, Jiawei Liu, Jiayun Liu, Jerui Liu, Kaiwen Liu, Luca Liu, Miao Liu, Mingrui Liu, Mingyu Liu, Minyue Liu, Motao Liu, Pei Liu, Huangxing Liu, Rixin Liu, Runqi Liu, Shiyi Liu, Xinyi Liu, Yachao Liu, Yang Yu, Yang Liu, Yanjun Liu, Yanlin Liu, Yanting Liu, Ye Kai Liu, Yibin Liu, Yiqie Liu, Yikun Liu, Yitao Liu, Yu Liu, Yu Liu, Yuchang Liu, Yuming Liu, Yun Liu, Yunqi Liu, Yuxiang Liu, Zhijiang Liu, Zhixing Liu, Zixiang Liu, Benjamin Weiss Livingston, Aaron Yi Lo, Chichang Lo, Fatima Lodger, Louisa Leuferman, Vanessa Marie Linshan Long, Luis Adolfo Lopez, Maria Fernanda Lopez, Bernardo Lopez Vicencio, Xin Lur Lo, Chen Lu, Shuyu Lu, Sicheng Lu, Siyuan Lu, Yani Lu, Yimeng Lu, Yinhe Lu, Zhiyong Lu, Daniel Lubinetsky, Rohit Lalit Lunavara, Zhangshu Luo, Hao Luo, Jerong Luo, Lingrui Luo, Lin Tao Luo, Wei Tao Luo, Yijia Luo, Yuchen Luo, Yuqi Luo, Zilin Luo, Thomas Luong, Chue Liu, Shan Shan Liu, Yue Liu, Rui Ma, Rui Bin Ma, Ruo Yi Ma, Shi Yue Ma, Xin Pei Ma, Xuanzi Ma, Yirue Ma, Yue Ma, Yuin Ma, Yifeng Ma, Zhuoren Ma, Jiming Ma, Ralph Marawi, Benjamin Jonah Moss, Matthew Mackenzie, Jayant Siddharth Madagula, Ilika Mahajan, Dr. Kunal Vasudeo Mahajan, Parag Dilip Mahajan, El Sharif Mahmood, Rohan Mahnot, Danielle Nicole Mahoney, Lei Yi Mai, Wai Chong Mak, Matthew Charles Maker, Aditya Makar, Elizabeth Ann Malan, Vibhor Malik, Stephen Daniel Molina, Nikita Malya, Caleb Sihai Mamo, Adam Isaac Mann, Ruthvik Reddy Manuru, Swarna Bharathi Mantena, Being Mao, Shangji Mao, Jihang Mao, Xiaohang Mao, Yue Mao, Yushuan Mao, Rachel Hannah Merrick, Benjamin Richard Markham, Matthew Kenneth Maroon, Michael Dominic Mara, Ana Maria Martinez Gomez, Hesham Hussein Masudi, Anthony John Mazza, James Matthew McCown, Jenna McCune, Shannon Elise McElroy, Connor Cooper McGuire, Daniel Richard McKean, Hannah Noel McCool, James McLean, Ryan Owen McNally, Sonali Rajesh Mandani, Cassie Gail Meeker, Harsh Sanjay Mehta, Jia Mei, Nguyen Mei, Eric Malicio, Leah Melky, Hong Yan Meng, Wu Fan Meng, Ziye Meng, Junyi Miao, Guillaume Jérôme Michel, Andrew Louis Manafo, Shui Jun Ming, Pierre Guillaume Minsen, Cheyenne Mirzoyan, Amog Mishra, Harsh Mishra, Panagiotis Misirlis, Daniel George Mitropolsky, Vinit Kumar Mittal, Sahana Mohandas, Diana Mojahed, Niranjana Prasad Moliar, Pavan Mulimani, Yeun Moon, Dr. Antonio Khalil Moretti, Dr. Marcelo Morgantini, Christopher Zachary Mosher, Daniel S. Moskowitz, Hanson Mo, Andreani Muzuro, Shwemon Mu, Abhishek Mukherjee, Rishikesh Anaruddha Mukte, Alberto Munguia Cisneros, Vaishnavi Murthy, Mugalin Muthapari, Arjav Nag, Vishnu Nagesh Kumar, Sharon Ramla Naha, Shreyans Nahar, Prabhakar Manoj Naik, Vishnu Nair, Vishruth Nair, Gilda Naka, Hayato Nakamura, Ayan Nandi, Rishabh Narang, Shreya Narasimhan, Alexander Anis Nasser, Evan Lloyd Nathan, Akili O.R. Nazaret, Ruturaj Rajendra Neni, Winnie Hui Lin Yo, Eric Michael Naiman, Jay Zern Eng, Clement Remy Ndenga Ngasu Mbandu, Tommy Van Wyn, Jiliang Ni, Runyu Ni, Zifan Nian, Jingjing Nie, Ruo Yi Nie, Sebastian Oscar Julius Nilsson, Yuki Nishimura, Kumari Nishu, Vikram Nitin, Yipeng Niu, Rebecca Lynn Noel, Martin Edward Nolan, Kenneth Afamafuna Nwokolo, Jessica Aaron Orline, Javier Olivaria Mujica, Dr. Pejia Ong, Chen Opatovsky, Patrick D. Orenstein, Malin Emma Johanna Ortenblad, Jacob Ostrowski, Shin O, Boya Uyang, Ye Uyang, Dwiref Snehal Oza, Birak Ozer, Divya Paba, Salvatore Pacha, Tushar Hemant Pagari, Akshay Vikas Pakli, Yash Palawat, Sinyu Pan, Lechi Pan, Ming-In Pan, Xian Pan, Tongjie Pan, Yiping Pan, Ziyue Pan, Ananya Pandi, Shubham Pandi, Yushin Pang, Kasyani Papa Sotiriou, Nilab Parikh, Tunvi Parikh, Jenny Ji Huon Park, Dr. Songwoo Park, Pruthaba Rajendra Sin Parmar, Kartik Parnami, Julian Ryan Partika, Angelica Pasqualini, Sashank Venkata Pasumarthi, Amit Shravan Patel, Pinak K. Patel, Sandeep Kumar Pravin Kumar Patel, Sharon Pranay Patel, Gauri Mahendra Patil, Neelam Patodia, Matthew Joseph Patrick, Anton Priyanka Paulraj, Anika Jeanette Pavis, Baptiste Peen, Xiaofu Pei, Yichen Pei, Matthew James Pellicour, Yiming Peng, Maggie Peng, Pamela Stacy Peralta, Ara Peterson, Dr. Yanis Petromikalakis, Fitsum Ermias Petros, Zane Matthew Pikey, Dr. Pedro Piacenza, Richard Joseph Pieri, Maurice Pierre, Jennifer Liza Pilamunga, Antonios Pinotzis, Anita Pinto, Param Popat, William Neal Porter, Gleb Igorevich Posabin, Olivia Camille Shannon Powell, Jesus Prado de la Mora, Prajwal Prakash, Janet Catherine Promachuk, Jin Pu, Adit Sachin Purohit, Ying Yuan Chi, Ji Chi, Zixuan Chi, Chang Qian, Gaolin Qian, Dr. Huaji Qian, Xiaocheng Qian, Yi Xiaoqian, Hao Yu Qin, Qianyue Qin, Eno Qin, Chenan Chu, Donghao Chu, Siyi Chu, Tianyi Chu, Enhui Chu Zhang, Zhongqie Chu, Zifeng Chu, Michelle Quinn, Jake Rabinowitz, Siddharth Ajit Raghunathan, Lawan Rahim, Kartik Rajaraman Iyer, Priyad Harshini Rajbabu, Ruben Rajendram, Nuntanut Raksasri, Anshuman Karthik Ramachandran, Raksha Ramesh, Niraj Ramkumar, Mohanish Vivek Ranade, Karan Sanjay Rao, Mamuna Rashid, Shruti Rastogi, Thomas Anthony Rebecki Jr., Darren Ren, Guancheng Ren, Jiran Ren, Mingshuan Ren, Chaochu Ren, Qingqing Ren, Qingyuan Ren, Weihong Ren, Xiaotong Ren, Kina Riccardi, Oriana Gabriela Rios Palmieri, Suraj Rishi, Dr. Samuel Thomas Robinson, Daniel Elias Rodas Hernandez, Danish Rode, James Rogat, Rong Fang, Quan Rong, Adam Michael Ross, Thomas S. Rothman, Michelle Maria Roy, Millie Roy, Alan Rosette, Yadin Rozov, Joseph Ronald Rubin, Dr. Jonathan Russ, Christopher Russo, Caroline Graham Rutherford, Carl Philippe Sade, Sharad Sakar, Shani Sade, Sancha Sahai, Emi Sai, Mert Attila Sakao Galari, David Michael Salbert, Sarah Ann Samuel, Ansh Charajit Singh Sandhu, Clayton Hendrick Sanford, Nikki Laura Sanford, Ningjing Sung, Anune Vivek Sanganal, Bumit Sanjay Sangavi, Edward Sanson, Christina Rose Santalucia, Erica Santos, Jonathan Irvin Santoso, Jason Alexander Sapia, Kailash Karthik Saravanakumar, Alicia Satyarth, Neil Save, Pranav Savant, Dr. Vincent Policina Seseng, David E. Shemich, John Robert Schenker, Marie-Louise Schnetz, Anna Catherine Marai Skunen, Nathaniel Schwartz, Maxwell Meyer Segan, Admir Sahovich, Janine Gopalsamy Sekaran, Matthew Scott Seekirk, Aditya Sekar, Mehmet Hazar Sharon, Madhavan Seshadri, Jun Shah, Mehnush Shafizadeh Abade, Adesh Mitesh Shah, Jay Shah, Kinnari Malav Shah, Mehak Shah, Nihar Shah, Siddhant Sheetal Shah, Yash Shah, Siddhant Shadilya, Yao Shang, Menglin Shao, Shangnan Shao, Ayush Parth Sharma, Ahmad Shayan, Fei Xiang Shen, Junru Shen, Longfei Shen, Qing Shen, Cus Shen, Tianxi Shen, Wubing Shen, Xinjie Shen, Yifang Shen, Yuge Shen, Yuhui Shen, Zhanglui Shen, Zhenqi Shen, Jian Sheng, Lu Zhou Shentu, Shashank Shet, Prasham Shet, Jia He Shi, Jie Shi, Jingshan Shi, Ruo Ran Shi, Si Yao Shi, Xiao Yu Shi, Xinyuan Shi, Yalin Shi, Yao Shi, Yuheng Shi, Zhehan Shi, Jay Shim, Charles Dongwon Shin, Jung Ah Shin, Dr. Hushman Shakri Razagi, Sagar Shori, Dr. Zhen Yu Shou, Xin Yi Shu, Peiyin Yodi Shu, Andrei Ilyaksevich Shilo, Joshua Raymond Valentino Cialagan, William Randall Sickinger, Deepika Sikka, Mitika Sikka, Christine Cecilia Silvera, Samuel Schiff Silverman, Raghav Singhal, Gurpreet Singh, Kanak Mahip Singh, Yogesh Singh, Gaurav Singhal, Alexandra Skylarenko, James Bergen Smiley, Benjamin Talbot Smith, Royston Suarez, Alper Salyam, Wanjun Sun, Baiju Song, Chang Song, Chenfei Song, Huiyu Song, Junlin Song, Qikong Song, Runtao Song, Ruobing Song, Shiqi Song, Yang Song, Yifan Song, Yongshin Song, Yujing Song, Jicheng Song, Matthew Diego Sonnenberg, Hergun Sood, Ryan Sounderji, Aditya Sridhar, Malvika Sridhar, Malavika Srikanth, Dr. Arvind Srinivasan, Pranav Shankar Srinivasan, Jake Frank Stammel, Amanda Steigman, Oded Stein, Robert Schuyler Stinson, Crystal Kwan Stowell, Jinhai Su, Mengyuan Su, Vivek Subramaniam, Amaury Soudry, Tabitha Karuna Sugamar, U Feng Sui, Charles Gordon Summers, Bi Hui Sun, Bohan Sun, Hao Ran Sun, Jiajing Sun, Jia Wen Sun, Kai Chen Sun, Man Sun, Pei Zhen Sun, Pei Mo Sun, Pei Yuan Sun, Qi Hong Sun, Xijia Sun, Xiao Xiao Sun, Yi Wan Sun, Yi Yang Sun, Yul Yang Sun, Somya Nagasri Sundaresh, Sai Swarup Sungku, Zanet Suto, Lampros Volos, Adam Sviston, Connor John Sweeney, Masaki Joseph Takamatsu, Christopher Lee Han Tan, Jiaxiong Tan, Lin Tan, Tian Le Tan, Shunyong Tan, Yue Tan, Yufei Tan, Jiheng Tan, Zhuoming Tan, Jiaqi Tong, Rui Tong, Shuhao Tong, Wei Xuan Tong, Yungkai Tong, Yuyan Tong, Jordan Tanajaya, Emma Simon Tao, Runzhou Tao, Stacy Yuan Tao, Shijia Tao, Atharva Vilas Tatkar, Maxime Tubojo, Chunying T, Min Yi Te, Gideon Title, Marshall Clark Tikel, Shivam Jayesh Thakkar, Maharishi Thakkar, Niabel Emily Taylomack, Bertrand Thea Theong Phat, Jordan Thimmet, Chan Hui Joanne To, Pierre Jean-Marie Tholonia, Pawanwan Tongmak, Anjali Naidu Thota, Rui Hua Tian, Xinhuan Tian, Xinyue Tian, Yiwen Tian, Yumeng Tian, Zhongkai Tian, Curran Samir Tipnis, Sarthak Tawari, Ayaka Tok, Angela Monica Tolwani, Patricio Javier Torres, Dustin Tran, V. Tran, Suman Tripathi, Esha Trivedi, Riva T. Trop, Annalise Trujillo, Eric Chung Chi Tsai, Peiling Tsai, Yiping Tseng, Stanislav Zitkov, Tu Tu, Wen Tu, Harsh Sanjeev Tuli, Vijaya Harshitha Tutari, Obina Blaze Ume, Suraj Parameswaran Uni, Scanned Up Manu, Mehmet Sinan Uray, Carter Paul Usowski, Om Bharatbhai Vakasya, Umang Vash, Shen Sanjay Vakaria, Fani Kumar Valasa, Anurag Srinivas Varanasi, Dr. Jonathan Thomas Vardner, Laura Valentina Vartanian, Priyank Jivrajbhai Vasoya, Maximiliano Vadoja Ramirez, Shiv Venkatagiri, Ankit Verma, Siddhant Vinay, Rushab Uday Vinci, Ravleen Singh Virdi, Harish Visweswaran, Fiona Y, Eric Alex Weingarten, Keely Walters, Fei Wan, Gui Zhong Wan, Jie Yu Wan, Yue Wan, Zhuoting Wan, Bingtong Wang, Bingzhuo Wang, Binxiang Wang, Caoyue Wang, Chen Wang, Kunjun Wang, Dongqi Wang, Fei Wang, Gengyu Wang, Guanjie Wang, Wang Han, Han Wang, Haoting Wang, Hongjin Wang, Hongyi Wang, Hongyu Wang, Jihao Wang, Junli Wang, Junyao Wang, Huanggidong Wang, Lan Wang, Linghao Wang, Ludi Wang, Meng Wang, Menghan Wang, Mutian Wang, Mushuan Wang, Nuoya Wang, Oliver Liu Wang, Shuyue Wang, Shengtao Wang, Shuran Wang, Dr. Xian Wang, Xiyuan Wang, Tian Wang, Tianling Wang, Tianmu Wang, Tianyan Wang, Tianye Wang, Tianyi Wang, Tingyi Wang, Zhongxiang Wang, Weisheng Wang, Wenxi Wang, Wenxian Wang, Xiaohe Wang, Shaoyi Wang, Xingbei Wang, Xinru Wang, Xinyao Wang, Xinyue Wang, Shuichun Wang, Shuijin Wang, Shuijing Wang, Xie Ru Wang, Yanbin Wang, Mike Wang, Yeling Wang, Yifei Wang, Yihan Wang, Yihan Wang, Yihuang Wang, Yiming Wang, Ying Wang, Yitian Wang, Yishuan Wang, Yu Wang, Yuan Wang, Yue Wang, Yujia Wang, Yujie Wang, Yulong Wang, Yuqian Wang, Wuxiao Wang, Xiaoyang Wang, Jie Wang, Zhengyang Wang, Jidan Daniel Wang, Zhiyuan Wang, Jiang Wang, Jihao Wang, Jihe Wang, Jihu Wang, Zijian Wang, Zijing Wang, Zile Wang, Xinyu Wang, Brendan John Warner, Anand Mahesh Watani, Guam Fei Wei, Jin Wei, Jin Kai Hui Wei, Yiran Wei, Rui Wen, Xiaolu Wen, Yunshuan Wang, Xiling Wang, Matthew Gale Wester, Kevin Christian Wibisono, Faith Christina Williams, Mateo Sebastian Williams, David Williams King, Dr. Lee Riva Winter, Kevin Milan Womack, Feng Yi Wang, Hoi Pang Wang, Kin Wai Wang, Dr. Vernon Keith Wang, David Wu, Cornell Wu, Daniel Wu, Fan Wu, Guando Wu, Hanyu Wu, Haoshuan Wu, Jiachen Wu, Jingyi Wu, Jingying Wu, Jingzhou Wu, Kai Wu, Mo Wen Wu, Qian Wu, Qita Wu, Shan Wu, Xiaofeng Wu, Tian Wu, Ashley Wu, Xinjiang Wu, Yang Fan Wu, Yang Wu, Yingnan Wu, Yujian Wu, Yuxi Wu, Zhenguo Wu, Zhuofan Wu, Zhi Shi, Peng Xia, Shengqing Xia, Shui Xia, Yuanmeng Xia, Yunjun Xia, Guinan Shang, Di Xiao, Feng Xiao, Jing Xiao, Yunqing Xiao, Alan Ren Xie, Bin Yu Xie, Jiaming Xie, Shangzi Xie, Tian Xie, Yingde Xia, Jia Kunxin, Lin Xing, Ri Xing, Zhuo Yue Xing, Ji Hao Xiang, Jin Lin Xiang, Jin Xin Xiang, Xiang Xin, Zi Hao Xiang, Dong Hai Shu, Fan Shu, Han Shu, Hua Yun Shu, Huiting Shu, Jianjin Shu, Jie Shu, Mengdi Shu, 徐森树、西昆树、江浙树、 Tianze Shu, Wan Shu, Wen Yi Shu, Shu Shu, Yi Yuan Shu, Yuan Shu, Yu Jie Shu, Yi Min Shu, Zhenjia Shu, Zijing Shu, Chun Shui, Ji Shui, Zilong Shui, Yingluo Shun, Jeswant Yadagani, Harsh Yadav, Concheng Yan, Jin Yan, Shijia Yan, Yu Yan, Yunfeng Yan, Chenghao Yang, Shenshu Yang, Shenyu Yang, Haonan Yang, Hewei Yang, Jiawei Yang, Jiayin Yang, Jingren Yang, Jingjing Yang, Long Yang, Shuo Yang, Dr. Shuoguang Yang, Tian Yang, Tianchang Yang, Tong Yang, Xinyi Yang, Yifan Yang, Yiyin Yang, Yiju Yang, Rain Yang, Yuanji Yang, Yue Yang, Zhezheng Yang, Zihan Yang, Yihao Yang Chen, Hua Yao, Jeremy Louis Clement Yao, Jiaang Desmond Yao, Jianan Yao, Shuoyang Yao, Shuan Yao, Siyu Yao, Weishi Yao, Xiaoyan Yao, Zheng Yao, Xi Yao, Di Ye, Hongzhi Ye, Li Chen Ye, Pei Li Ye, Peng Xian Ye, Zijun Ye, Karina Ye, Sultan Marat Yelu, Zhu Yang Yi, Junrong Yi, Dan Shi Yin, Fan Xing Yin, Hao Ran Yin, Jianfeng Yin, 西yuan ying, zi hao ying, yongqian yun, hao xuan yu, jiakun yu, jing yu, chen yu, feng yu, guanhua yu, Haibo Yu, Hua Yu Yu, Wei Yu, Dr. Miao Yu, Mingjia Yu, Chanhui Yu, Sean Jasper Yu, William Yu, Yixiang Yu, Yue Yu, Zhenghao Yu, Dennis Yinglun Yuan, Jia Yao Yuan, Jie Yuan, Ye Yuan, Yuzheng Yuan, Yang Yue, Elizabeth Yesul Yun, Du Young Yun, Duan Yue Yun, Zehui Yun, Irfan Zabeh, Ali Zer, Ali Reza Zarayan, Shabin Zarendio Kachea, Yang Zeng, Cheng Zhai, Xinshen Zhai, Yujia Zhai, Wei Wei Zhan, Yu Zhan, Zhicheng Zhan, Zhucheng Zhan, Aishuan Zhang, Aoxing Zhang, Bingyan Zhang, Bryant Hugo Zhang, Chao Zhang, Chen Yuan Zhang, Chuang Zhang, Edith Jin Zhang, Han Wen Zhang, Hao Ran Zhang, Heng Wei Zhang, Jia Qi Zhang, Jia Yu Zhang, Jinming Zhang, Junhao Zhang, Junjie Zhang, Li Zhang, Ling Zhang, Li Xin Zhang, Lu Zhang, Miao Si Zhang, Nan Zhang, Pingyu Zhang, Chanri Zhang, Qingli Zhang, Qinwei Zhang, Qiyan Zhang, Richard Zhang, Ruyi Zhang, Shijia Zhang, Yuqian Zhang, Tianren Zhang, Wangda Zhang, Wenrui Zhang, Wentao Zhang, Xinyang Zhang, Xinyu Zhang, Yanxin Zhang, Yi Zhang, Yiqi Zhang, Yiguang Zhang, Yihan Zhang, Dr. Yihan Zhang, Chris Zhang, Yongyi Zhang, Yudong Zhang, Yudong Zhang, Weiming Zhang, Yuexing Zhang, Yushan Zhang, Yuting Zhang, Yutong Zhang, Yuxin Zhang, Yushuan Zhang, Zechuang Zhang, Zhanming Zhang, Zhenchen Zhang, Zhang Zhang, Zhenhao Zhang, Zhichao Zhang, Zhichu Zhang, Zhihao Zhang, Zhongyu Zhang, Zirui Zhang, Ziyang Zhang, Chen Zhao, Chen Si Zhao, Zhang Zhao, Xicheng Zhao, Xiangyu Zhao, Yajie Zhao, Yin Zhao, Yining Zhao, Yonghu Zhao, Yongyi Zhao, Yunke Zhao, Zhuo Zhao, Jintao Zhang, Longgang Zhang, Mengting Zhang, Peilin Zhang, Jingan Zhang, Yangqi Zhang, Yinwo Zhang, Yuning Zhang, Zhihao Zhang, Zhixiang Zhang, Jiahao Yi, Ruoxian Zhang, Yuhang Zhang, Yuyao Zhang, Bangwei Zhou, Geiyang Zhou, Jiaxi Zhou, Kaidong Zhou, Luofeng Zhou, Qinhan Zhou, Qiwen Zhou, Xijie Zhou, Xijie Zhou, Ti Zhou, Yanyue Zhou, Yaoyu Zhou, Yeqing Zhou, Yifan Zhou, Yijing Zhou, Yining Zhou, Yuhang Zhou, Zihui Zhou, Ziwei Zhou, Chuzhu, Danhan Zhu, Dechuan Zhu, Hongbo Zhu, Hongmin Zhu, Jianing Zhu, Junhua Zhu, Junqi Zhu, Kaiyi Zhu, Libo Zhu, Mingjun Zhu, Xiaoge Zhu, Qing Zhu, Tiffany Lily Zhu, Xiaoyu Zhu, Xiaoyun Zhu, Xingyu Zhu, Yanrui Zhu, Yili Zhu, Ying Zhu, Yin Yao Zhu, Yiran Zhu, Yu Zhu, Weifei Zhu, Yuliang Zhu, Yunkan Zhu, Yuqing Zhu, Zheyu Zhu, Ziwei Zhu, Zishan Zhu, Jianfeng Zhuang, Zizhuang, Claude Jean Zugzogi, Han Yu Zhou, Mingwei Zhou, Joseph Harry Zuckerman, Chaoyi Zhuo,
Once again, congratulations to the graduates, the C's class of 2021. You made it. Our celebrations continue beyond this event. I look forward to addressing you all again at our Columbia University commencement. Also, on Friday night at 9 p.m., the Empire State Building will be illuminated in Columbia blue as a special tribute to our new graduates. Wherever you are, if you are missing New York will be lighting up for you. Today, it has been a privilege and honor to celebrate this graduation milestone with each of you, together with President Bollinger, Rocco Camiso, and so many families and friends. I hope you will continue to celebrate for the rest of the day. Thank you so much for joining us today, and congratulations to you all, the Columbia Engineering Class of 2021. Raise your hammers high.
Boys, I thank you so much for showing us all what visionary leadership looks like.
Congratulations on being promoted to Provost at Columbia University.
Thank you, Dean Boyce, for your excellent leadership of Columbia Engineering.
Thank you, Dean Boyce, for being such a great example of what it is to be a strong and gracious leader.
You've been a great inspiration to me, and I'm sure to all the women out there.
Thank you, Dean Boyce, for your commitment to expanding resources and opportunities for C students.
On behalf of all undergrads, thank you for being a champion for us. We'll miss chanting your name during convocation and commencement, but can't wait to see you on your new role as provost and what you can accomplish. Congratulations.
Mother stayed on rock eternal, crowned and set upon a height, glorified by light supernal. In thy radiance we see light. Torch thy children's lamps to kindle.